timer
just
you're
as
gonna have
long
to
as
pay
it is
attention to
not
this
unreasonable.
because this isn't just like a TOS that you need to agree to. You're gonna have to be knowledgeable of what's in this because you're gonna have a tendency to break these rules.
Yes, of course.
No references to any previous discussions or behaviors.
What?
Right, so you can't say, Tomr, you're just being dishonest like you were before, or Tomr, this is what you do.
This is what you do, man.
Okay, but then, but
you just said it. You just literally said this is what you do.
Nah, but if you never do it, it's not a problem, right? Let's move forward.
Yeah, then it's an advantage to you, Tasteless.
Of course.
Yeah, fine. Number 3. No interruptions. We're gonna have to figure that out somehow.
Then you need timetables.
That's a big one. Or maybe you could set up a system where when you want to interrupt someone, you say, "Excuse me" or something like that. So that
we'll just say over. We'll just say like over or something like that, or go ahead.
Then you need to have time limit. On your
That's ridiculous.
Well, you can always go to the conversation, Tom. You can go to the conversation you had with Rob Beasley when you went point of order or point of contention.
Yeah, if you say like "excuse me" or like "sir" or something, then they know that you want to interject, and they can either finish their point or they can allow the interjection.
What else, man?
You have to stay on topic. We need some way to like mitigate that. I know that's a hard one.
Wow.
We can't introduce irrelevant shit.
Well, what is no, man? This is going to be problematic. You see, because whenever you say, listen, and this is true. Okay, for me to be able to make a point, yes, I understand that there are different layers that you don't know, right? You don't understand, and you need to understand them for you to fully get a grasp of what I'm saying.
This is all meta shit. This is not just meta.
But this can be mitigated easily by you trying to understand my position in an accurate
we got
manner.
that right. That's just not robust enough.
You're over talking me, man.
Yeah, we're not doing it yet. Remember?
Okay, great. I know that you cannot do that. I mean, you're
I have
unable
no
to
problem doing it. Trust me.
Now, this could be easily mitigated by you trying to understand an accurately.
I already told you that that's not robust enough, right? We want
accurately. No. I want to be very clear and particular about this.
We're gonna have we're gonna be very particular. It's not gonna fall under let's just be bros, bud. No, it's not gonna work, dude. Right?
Oh, then okay. If you want to be petty, that's fine.
It's gonna be all fucking laid out. Let's see. If you say something about something being triggered, or any reference to their emotional state, you lose. You agree?
That would fall under personal attacks, right?
Well, we're gonna have it. We're just getting really, really specific, right? So I don't want him saying
motivations, like when Tasteless always accuses of the other person of trying to win.
I do this on a daily basis. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
You are the one who cannot do this.
Yeah, Tom. What about?
So once you're done, we're going to go with mine. I will write them too, right?
What about when Tasteless always accuses people of having certain motivations, like you're just trying to win?
Right. No appeal to motivation. Ben had a good list the other day. What else do we need?
Really?
Yeah, I think you were mentioning good ones. All like the things that Tasteless does.
Yeah, good job, Ben.
I think the on-topic one is going to be the one we need to deal with. Yeah.
We're gonna have to have something about a yes or no question must be answered yes or no, and then qualify.
Yes, no, or neither.
Right.
Since not all questions have yes, no answers.
Yeah.
Keeping them on topic is going to be the main impossibility here, though.
Right. Here's another one. When a question is asked about something specific, like what is X, it cannot be answered by an example of X.
Why are you crying?
What are you talking about?
You sounded like you were crying.
What are you talking about?
You sounded like you were crying, man.
I just thought I heard a little tiny baby.
This is a personal
attack.
And emotional.
No, I'm asking a genuine question.
Personal
He's gonna lose in like 5 seconds flat.
Dude, Tasteless, do Tasteless, do you see number 5?
No, all I hear
But
is
you said that we weren't. I mean, this wasn't an
look,
insult, dude.
Tomr.
I
Stop
genuinely
crying,
thought that
Tomr.
you were crying.
Tasteless, why is
I
your
mean,
mom a
your
whore?
voice sounded all cracked up and whatnot. I thought
This
you were
is all
crying.
an insult, Tomr.
Are you starting to feel naked, Tasteless?
No,
He's like, got to get it all out, Tomr.
I have no problem, me getting rid of these things, man.
Oh,
I already told you. No,
okay, cool.
Just give him a second. He just wants to get it
it's
all
going
out.
to be easy.
What else? I might have to think about this a little bit. I
So
need
you're
help from you
basically,
guys.
this is a recognition that all of these tools you're trying to, they are very effective and you are afraid of them. So this is nice, man.
Effective.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah, that's
Tomr
fine. I
knows
want.
this.
Yes,
This is
I
why
want.
he's trying to, he perceives this as very
Tasteless.
effective.
No
so
one
he
thinks
let's
this.
see. That's a
remove it.
No one.
All I need
appeal
is
to
to
honor.
be honest,
That's a number 6. Appeal to motivation.
and he will lose.
He sees it as detrimental to the conversation.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no declaring victory. That's
Yeah,
that
that's
has to
another
be
one. Declaring victory, or someone was wrecked, or you've won something. That's all. That's all automatic loss.
That's yeah.
Yes.
That's
But
So-
how
so
do
let
you
me- let me
point
ask you
out
something.
if
No, no,
someone
no.
loses then?
Wait,
If
wait.
someone breaks the rule.
These rules apply to what?
What?
I mean, we are going to have a conversation, and these rules are going to be applying. Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, great.
Now, what's the topic of the debate going to be?
Tasteless.
Yes.
Now, do you have anything that you want to add?
Let's be real.
Okay. So these rules both apply to us, right?
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
No personal attacks.
We'll pin
no
the final
references
rules.
to any previous discussions or behaviors. No interruptions. Maybe permission to interject. What do you mean?
So after I'm done talking, I'll say go ahead. And if you interrupt me, you lose.
No, but
Okay.
being allowed to interject.
Let's modify that to just the following. I'm going to make a proposition. So how about if, let's say, you interrupt me, right? And I accept your interjection, so I shut and I let you speak, right?
No, if you
listen,
interrupt, you lose.
Listen, no, listen. But if you let's say, for instance, I am making
No, there is no interruptions. If you interrupt, you lose. It's that simple.
No, listen. Let's say I'm saying something, and Tomr wants to interject with something, right? And I see it as relevant.
How would you see it as relevant without a minute?
Listen.
I think you should be allowed to ask by saying,
Listen.
"Excuse me."
If I'm saying something, he wants to
Well,
stop me because this is
Very
important.
specifically, Tom is pointing out that Tasteless cannot function in a conversation without these tools.
Well, yes, but this is irrelevant. I am trying.
So,
Look, you're being so petty.
No interruptions.
I am being
No,
Why
constructive.
not? Tasteless, why
Listen,
not
listen.
just not interrupt? It's that simple.
I'm going to
Well,
defend
I am allowing.
Tasteless.
And let me tell you what I'm saying, dude. It is not because of me. I am saying at some points, yes, when I'm about to respond to something, right? And since I am trying to be constructive and to, have a real conversation with Tomr, then I am willing to accept, if this is up, actually constructive, to say, hey man,
Fucking bad,
whatever
Tasteless.
he's saying is valid, so I will shut myself. I would listen
If
to
I was a
what he
Christian,
has to
You're
say.
literally arguing
And
for
continue.
interrupting
Or-
people right now.
Or
Tasteless.
if I see something as relevant, I would say, no, let me finish. And then I will move on. If he continues
This is gonna
to
take
try
fucking
to not
forever.
let me speak or to
No interruptions.
okay, that's fine.
I think the ability to interject is
No,
help-
doctor, you're not helping. Stop it.
I was trying to help you,
You're,
but that's
you're
okay.
pouring kerosene on a fire. Please stop.
Okay, that's fine. What else, man?
I don't know.
I
do
mean,
you have-
whatever makes you. No. Get them all out. I mean, I want you to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Whatever
They are all out. He's asked
As
now
a-
if
as a
you have
strength of
anything you
mind.
wish to add.
No, not really. I mean, just let me see. Let me check.
Let's continue clarifying. You have to agree to this.
This is just
Brett.
suicide by cop.
Tasteless, please continue agreeing with them starting at 4.
These are the rules again that Ben fucking wrote down.
Oh, I got another one. No impressions.
Now, who is
of,
going to determine?
No impressions of your interlocutor. Like, oh, you're saying, oh, Tomr.
That's powerful, huh?
You do
Okay.
that once, you lose.
Now, for number 4, stay on topic, right? Who is going to determine who is staying on topic? Actually, listen, this is problematic. This is problematic. Number 4 is very problematic. Listen, let me tell you.
I know it is. It's very problematic.
Listen, if some topic, right, we're talking about, and I'm going to make an analogy, right? And he's going to say, no, stay on topic. What the fuck, man? I mean, this isn't cool. He can say that. Or, you know, that is very subjective for you to say or to claim that I didn't stay on topic.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. So it's very subjective.
Well, we need to, we're going to have to elect a moderator for that.
Address the objections they're making, right? This is
and I think that one won't be an instant lose. I think maybe like you'll just get interrupted. Like
you're not going to need it, Tom.
Now, Tomr, do you mean respond to the objections being made, right? That's what you mean by stay on topic, right? So if you raise an objection or you ask me a question, I need to answer that question and not get to something else, right? Is that what you're saying or not?
Who's moderating this part?
You're asking me that in regards to the discussion, when do we want you to be staying on topic? The whole time.
No, Tomr, I'm not saying that. You see, you're being misrepresented, or you're not able to understand what I'm saying.
Why don't you guys use a chess timer?
The only thing that I could see, you know, validness in that point 4 is for you to say that whenever, let's say, for instance, you make a question, and I might not answer and respond to something else. That would be considered, you know, a violation of staying on topic, right? But if this, do you agree to that or no? Because number 4, I have a problem with, okay? If you're referring to that, I would say, yeah, let's go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to have someone arbitrate that.
You will be able to claim that I'm not on topic is very subjective, okay? So
that is not subjective at all.
I won't accept.
Of course it is.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Are we striking that one?
No. We're just gonna put a pin in that. That perhaps needs to have an elected official arbitrate.
Okay.
Next. Go ahead, Tasteless. You're reading them.
Emotional state, right?
Well, this is interesting. Ben, if you edit the one that you pinned, it edits it within the pin too.
Okay. Appeal to motivations. What do you mean? Oh, you're just trying to win, dude. Fuck.
Or just trying to misrepresent
I don't agree
me.
with that. What do you mean by appeal to motivations? This is very important sometimes. And I'm not talking about your motivations, but if we're talking about the motivations of whatever topic we're discussing,
motivations of a topic?
The topic's motivation?
Yes, I mean, if we're talking about, say, for instance, a particular topic, and we're talking about the motivations, you know, to reach X conclusion or whatnot, this you know, should be allowed. Whenever, I don't know what you're saying, but appeal motivations.
So
and if you're suggesting that I do, well, you better show me how. And what is it that you don't want me to do?
Yeah, so something like, well, you're just being dishonest, right? That's an appeal to motivation. Saying something like you're just saying that because you have an interest in making me look stupid, right? That's another one you always use.
Let me ask you something. Then, if
you're not
you're basically saying
you don't want to engage
to do that. Listen,
you're not engaging in good faith.
I'm not able to call
Tasteless, hold on, shut up, Tasteless. Do you understand what an appeal to motivation is now? Tasteless?
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
That's all that matters then.
Yes, of course.
So let's add then, because I see the ones I was asking, you know, for, but let's add them when we're done. Yes, no questions must be asked prior to qualification. What do you mean prior to qualification? Like
if it's like he asks you if he asks you a question and your answer is yes, but you wanna go on like a monologue or something, you say yes, and then you go on the monologue.
Okay, great. When you ask something specific,
well, no, look, you don't want to say that. You don't want to say. You want to get
by an example.
You're fine to go on a monologue, Tasteless. That's so dangerous.
That is fucking no. That's not reasonable.
Do you think that Tasteless is just arbitrating this until the until we get tired of it? Because this is like ridiculous.
number 8 is totally unreasonable.
I mean, do you guys even have a topic to debate?
No,
We're gonna
fine,
make
Bob.
something up, I think.
Now,
Oh, it's never
yes,
gonna
I don't
happen.
agree with number 8
It's never going to happen.
at all.
Joe, the whole point of
I
this is to
agree.
show that
Tasteless
Tasteless
is
can't
just gonna-
engage in a conversation without employing those.
Tasteless is just
Okay,
gonna
all
arbitrate
right.
this until he can't arbitrate it anymore. He's just gonna. This is just a filibuster.
Well, I don't know if that's informative,
What?
but I get your point.
I
So,
don't agree with number 8. Did you hear?
Well, is that it?
you
I
guys
can
should
tell you,
start
I
where
can
you
tell you the
agree.
reasons why, but I want to know your position on this.
Yeah, well, oftentimes I'll ask you what is X, and then you actually won't answer the question.
No, but this is important. Listen to me. This is very important. Whenever you're not familiar with a particular, thing or idea or whatnot, I definitely, anyone would have to appeal to a fucking, analogy or example for you to really get familiar with this, right? So it is necessary. It is a necessary tool for optimal conversation. So you adding number 8 is just a very,
didn't say you can't
and
use
it is
analogy.
unreasonable.
You can't. I didn't say you couldn't use an analogy. You just have to answer the question. What is X?
You said it cannot be answered by an example, which is an analogy, motherfucker.
Look, as long as you answer what is X, you can add an example.
Like I said,
But an example cannot.
An analogy is an example, isn't it?
An example by itself does not.
No, that is not clear, and that is just ridiculous.
An example
It is
by
not,
itself
no,
does not
it
fit
doesn't
the
help at
requirement.
all. It doesn't help at all in an optimal.
If somebody asks you what a dog is and you show them an example of a dog, that's not an analogy.
Shit.
So how can we refine this one?
Tasteless, hold on. All that stipulation says is what you do very often. Somebody asks you a yes/no question, and you're like, "Wait. Let me give you an example." All that stipulates is you have to answer the yes/no and then give the example.
No, you have to tell me why. Why is that, in there? Justify it, please.
Because the question is what is X, not give me an analogy.
But you say you cannot give an example. So if you ask me, for instance,
No.
How many times do I have to explain
and
this
I
to you,
provide
dude?
an example of a dog,
No, you
said,
can't.
"Hey, you lost." That is
No,
an
you
example.
can give.
Well,
That
see,
is an example.
just you know what? Let's just start like tallying the violations just in this conversation, right? He just did a number 10, right?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're being dishonest. Fucking
Dishonest,
At the
that's reference
beginning
to
till
emotional
the
state is
end.
number 5.
now, listen. That is not a justification at all.
Can someone play a little
Listen,
bell every time
You're
he does
just basically trying. Listen, Tomr, it's like
It's the appeal to emotion.
I don't know.
Ding, ding,
Say,
Number 6.
Tomr,
Appeal to
Feel the
motivation.
motivation. Ding, ding.
All
Well,
these are
we'll
true.
get there. No, I don't agree with number 8. No declaring victory. That I agree. Now, you can add not being dishonest, right? Not misrepresenting what the position is. And if it's being misrepresented,
That's
or
number 10.
yes, put it there, man.
Oh wait, my bad.
It says straw manning right there.
No,
No. Number 10 is specifically not straw manning. That is not what it
not
is.
misrepresenting.
This is specifically. Oh, Tomr. We all know what he
number 10.
does. Right? We all know.
Number 10 shouldn't say strong arming.
Not
Like, that was
misrepresenting.
good.
Yeah, well, when you misrepresent someone, you can do it. Maybe you could say no intentionally misrepresenting.
How are you going to arbitrate that?
Yeah, that's
That's yeah. Right.
No misrepresenting. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, Tasteless defines a straw man as not saying what he said verbatim, right?
Yeah,
No,
I've heard
This is misrepresenting
Wait, hold
right
on.
now, man.
Misrepresentation
You cannot
should
do
not be
this
on
without
there.
fucking these tools.
Misrepresentation should not be on there. There's
No.
no way we can
Get it
figure
in
out.
there. I know.
I've heard
Listen, Tomr.
Tasteless try to tell me what- Hold on, Tasteless.
If I insert,
it's really
the
hard to
things,
hear you, Seth.
if I insert these things,
that's your
Tomr
fault,
wouldn't be able to
It's
fucking
not my
speak.
fault. It's the reason why everyone's talking over you.
No. Listen. if I insert the things that like this,
I don't think a number
Tomr
11
wouldn't
should
be
be
able
there.
to open his mouth.
There's not going to be a way to arbitrate that, Tasteless.
No, there's no way of arbitrating any of that, of the rest.
Talking to,
Okay?
if you
Because
call me a faggot,
no,
you
of
violated
course.
Ron.
You can say, hey, you insulted me because I felt insulted. There is no way to really.
Tasteless, don't be dishonest. Come
No,
on.
problem with the previous discussions that we did. What if they are necessary? I mean, this cannot be arbitrated, Tomr. You're basically
Hold on, Tasteless. Let's just say his thing.
I
Tasteless, hold
conceded
on.
9. No,
So
8.
you're saying that if I say
I conceded 8, and
So
you're
you're
not even able to concede the most powerful tool you have, which is representing 1.
You're saying that if I say something like, well, if you say something like, I didn't hear that, could you repeat it? I'm gonna
sorry, Tomr. This is.
I'm gonna say number 1 personal attack, you lose. Is that what you're saying?
You're basically saying this. Listen, this is how weak you are.
That's a personal.
I am conceding 9. Listen. I'm asking you to concede the very. Listen.
This is number 3 interruption.
Listen, the most natural, and anyone could agree with this. Anyone who is trying to be reasonable, say not misrepresenting. Oh, that's one.
No, the problem with
that's a total motivation. A total motivation.
I cannot do it because you know you can't do it.
You think
you are not going to concede this because this is your primary tool.
Total motivation.
1, the most important one.
That's fair.
The very essence of having a real discussion is not misrepresenting your opponent. And you're not giving that? You're not even willing to go there?
The problem with the misrepresentation thing is that you've accused almost everyone in here of misrepresenting you when they've asked you a clarifying question. Almost daily, I ask you a clarifying question.
Now when you're asking a question, I am no, listen. Now you are saying that, listen how you are misrepresenting me. You're saying that whenever you're asking a question, I am misrepresenting. Tomr said, Tasteless thing that restated his position, or not verbatim, is straw man. This is a misrepresentation, dude. I mean, this is how dishonest you are. You cannot do it. You cannot even have any fucking chance without you misrepresenting.
Number 1 and a number 6.
Tasteless, you also think that somebody showing you the consequences of your
Tomr?
views. Hold on, Tasteless.
Just
You also
all you
think
have
that
to
somebody
do is
showing
try
you
to
the
be honest, man. That's it.
is misrepresenting you. You think that anytime somebody takes your position and then extrapolates to its
yes, you could say that about every point you made.
Reference of
you could say that about every point you made, but I'm not doing that because I'm not petty or pathetic, and I am willing to go there. Now, Tomr, are you willing to go there, Tomr, or not?
So where?
Stop filibustering, Seth, please. Seth,
you're the one talking for like 5 minutes.
Listen, guys, we have to add,
are you willing
guys,
to
we
go
have
there
to
or not?
add filibustering. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, no filibustering. We're gonna have time limits. 30 seconds. Time.
So, Tomr, are you willing to go there or not?
To go where?
Add it. No misrepresentation.
Tom, do the chess clock. It's fun to do. Trust
Well,
me.
how are you going to arbitrate that?
Listen, listen, Tomr. I am not being petty, man. I am not trying to say, listen, Tomr.
To arbitrate that.
Could you understand what I'm saying, please? Or not? Could you try to understand what I'm saying?
That sounded like an appeal to an emotional state.
Well, this is how petty. Listen.
But just accept
no,
it.
that's number
Just
1.
accept
Yes,
no.
Like every single thing he says.
This is what you said, and now you keep misrepresenting me. You keep attacking me. You keep saying this shit. Now listen. This is very simple, Tomr.
No, but just
I am being constructive. Listen, I am not being petty about this.
That's appeal to motivation, number 6.
In my mind, Tomr, I am trying to do this to actually make it happen, to have a real discussion with you. Okay. I am asking you the very essence of optimal, desirable conversation, which is not misrepresenting your.
He's not staying on topic.
I am not going to like you. Listen, I am not like you going to say I won. He did this. I won. No. I am not petty like that. Okay.
That's kind of like a that was an impression. Number 10.
I am
And
not
then-
petty like that. Okay.
And then there was a type of number 9 declaring
Yes,
victory.
because we haven't started this. You told me.
What does the bing noise mean? What is that?
We're recognizing offensive behavior.
Listen,
Tasteless, I have
won't
an
do
idea
that,
for a
Tomr.
rule you should
It's also
won't
appeal
do
and
that.
motivation number 6.
Hey, I am trying. Listen,
Display of complete and other faggotry. Bing.
Okay.
Tasteless,
listen.
I have an ID for a rule you should add.
ID?
Gallus, the thing I just posted
have an
in the
example
chat
of
is
a
what they're
rule you
dinging
should
them on.
ask for.
She's annoyed by me going team.
Yeah, you should ask for no ridiculing your opponent. For example, by saying.
Oh, I got a good one. I got a good
wasn't
one.
annoyed. I just wondered what it meant.
I got a good one.
anyone's
Here's
annoyed, I'll
gonna
stop,
be the format. Okay, this is gonna be really, really helpful. So, when someone asks a question, you're gonna answer the question in like the way you would in like 2nd grade, right? So it's gonna be like, what is the capital of
Norway,
of Florida, or something like that? And then you must answer in the form of, the capital of Florida is, and then you have to say it. Right, so if you go off on a tangent, it's not going to be 100%.
Excellent. Yes, I agree.
Yes. Continue being pathetic, man. What else do you want? What else do you need, Tomr?
Tasteless asked me a question. I also have to answer in the exact same way.
That was a number 1, by the way.
I'm going to start doing that just for the point of clarity. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
it's fine. No, it must follow that exact form. So the question, you're gonna have to like repeat the. Do you know how to do that, Tasteless?
Let's practice,
Do we have-
Tasteless. What state is Los Angeles in?
It's so pathetic, Seth.
What do you mean?
In the question before your answer. So
Yes, Tasteless. What state is the city of Los Angeles in?
So you would say.
Regardless of whether or not you know it. We're just practicing.
So you would
let
say.
me get this straight.
This is hilarious.
Maybe he
This is
doesn't know.
ridiculing.
You can't do it. You
Let me
can't
get
do
this straight. Must restate the question prior to answer.
So basically,
Yes.
look, I'll give an example.
Okay,
for that
this is
example,
what needs to be done. I mean,
would
must
say-
restate. I
We'll
mean,
give you an example. Chum, what
Yes,
state
Seth?
is the city of Los Angeles in?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that question. The city of Los Angeles is in the state of California.
Very good, chum. Very good. How productive.
Thanks.
That's excellent.
Wow, I feel productive already.
Now it's your turn.
well, yeah.
Tasteless.
So
What
let's-
is the first element on the periodic table, Tasteless?
Yeah. So okay. Are we done? Do you have any?
Hello.
Do you have
do
any other rules, Tomr, that you want to
How can you
continue
mess
to
this
engage?
up? How can you?
Well, hold on a second. You seem to be you seem to not understand this rule. Do you understand this rule?
Yes.
What's
Yes. I
the
do.
rule?
But
Well, hold on a
I
second.
don't think that is
That
productive.
was another
Listen.
opportunity for you to answer it properly. Do you
Yes.
understand the rule?
Yes, Tomr. Listen. I am trying
I
to
don't
keep
think
it.
he
You know,
does.
He
I am
doesn't.
trying to keep it constructive yet. You know, because I really
would
want
be
to have this
hydrogen?
conversation with you under these terms. Listen. And all you're trying to do is stretch it to the point where you don't want to have this conversation with me, Tomr. You want to eject the conversation by being petty, by being, ridiculously, absurdly.
Listen, we have to control the filibustering.
Appeal
So
to
you say,
motivations.
Tomr, you're just trolling.
Number
And
6.
then you say, I told you guys.
And this is
I told
is
you.
impression number 10.
He wouldn't be able to do it
Impression
without
number 10?
his own armor. No, dude. You are the one pulling out because you're now getting onto
This is a form of
unreasonable-
declaring victory. Number
unreasonable,
Tasteless, when you come, you're supposed to
unreasonable
pull out.
field. Now, if you don't want to get, if you really want this to happen, Tomr, because it
Yes.
doesn't seem like you do.
I absolutely do. I'm willing to do it right now.
Then you will, start being not right now.
Isn't that
you know,
another
more
pill
constructive.
motion? Or pill
Listen,
motivation?
more
We're going to
constructive,
have to,
Tomr,
listen, we're going to have to
and
enforce it.
actually get this into reasonable, field. Okay, so for you to be asking, oh, you need to answer in this matter, it is just ridiculous and absurd.
Why?
It is not a productive conversation. You are now getting into unreasonable in
No,
an
that
unreasonable
that
tone.
format ensures that the
So
answer
don't do it, man.
going to
Let's have this
follow.
conversation.
May I explain something to
Listen,
Tasteless?
let's have this conversation under those rules. I am glad to have it, dude. More than glad.
Cool. I'm glad to have it too.
So okay, don't go far and try to, get this pettiness more than it needs to be. Okay, so let's do it.
No, it needs to be very robust. It needs to be very, very robust.
I understand. You can make it as robust as you want.
And I
Just
need
don't
to
get,
know-
don't get into unreasonable
Can I
field.
explain
That's
something
it.
to Tasteless real quick?
Yeah.
Look, Tasteless. You know who Mark Thomas is, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you're aware that sometimes it confuses people, especially new people in the room, because whenever he starts talking, he says, yes, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. Sometimes people think he's answering affirmatively to a question that he's not answering affirmatively to. Yes?
Yes, Seth. Now, let me ask you something.
Would that be cleared up? Would that be cleared up by him repeating the question before he answered it? Would that be
Oh,
cleared up
yes,
by
that
that?
would be. That would
Right.
be. But I am not Mark Thomas. Okay?
You
And
do.
I don't think Tomr
Correct.
is Mark
You
Thomas.
Oh, I got
start
another
answering
one.
with
You
yes.
can't. I got another one. You can't answer a question with a question. That's
What
an
do you
important
do?
one.
Seth, so
But let's
weird.
not have too many rules. Let's have the.
This
No,
is
this needs-
just absurd.
why do you
I mean, this is
insist on
getting
that
into
copy?
absurdity. And this
The
is what
whole
I'm saying.
point of this
Tomr
example
doesn't
thing
want
here
to
is
have
to
this
show that
debate.
Tasteless can't
Doesn't
engage
want
honestly.
to oblige
Yeah, but
I'm
you
willing to
can
have
show-
it right
you-
now. I'll do it
You
right
can show
now.
this. You can show that.
So
it's,
you don't want to, man. Why do you need
Tasteless, I don't. Tasteless, I am willing to do it right now. Right now, I'm willing to do it.
So
Let's
go
go.
ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, we
Then
have to
stop
try
being
it.
petty.
Let's give it a try.
So what's
We
the
can have to
topic?
enforce these, and when they get enforced, we have to explain the rule, and we have to overcome how that rule is being broken. We have to avoid that.
Well, no. The moment it happens, they lose. That was the whole point.
Ah.
Somebody's got to moderate.
Okay, yeah, that'll be much quicker. That'll be much easier. Let's do that.
Maybe we should.
We can
Maybe we
try
should
it.
have a
Have
three
Donovan
strikes.
do
You
it.
want to do a
Have
three
Donovan
strikes
do it.
rule? You want to do a three strikes?
Great idea.
Yeah, 3 strikes. Have
It
Donovan.
would, it would last longer than 2 sentences if you did 3 strikes. Yes.
Okay. Hold on a second, but I'm concerned about something. I think that Tasteless still doesn't understand on how to properly answer a question. He after all those examples, not one time did he answer it correctly. So I'm not going to proceed until he's answered one of those questions in the proper form.
Ping. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Tasteless, what is the capital of Mexico?
Like I said, dude, I don't agree with that fucking, rule, and you're trying to make it a rule, which is petty. You're trying to avoid
wouldn't you
having
agree to
this
that?
conversation.
Why wouldn't you agree to that? Are you unable to do that?
I think it's petty behavior, and it is not in in a
Appeal to motivation number 6. I know that one by heart now.
We haven't
it is
started
not a productive, or it's not a constructive way to go around.
What are you
the
talking
conversation,
about?
Tomr. This to me enters into unreasonable field.
Look, I explained to you why it's productive.
I
and you
already
agreed.
told you that I disagree.
No, you
Okay.
agreed with me.
We are not doing
when I
this.
told you why it was
We are not
productive.
doing this. We are not doing this. And that's it. I mean, if you want to have a real conversation, a constructive one, well, have it.
These
Don't
things
be
will
fucking
facilitate
ridiculous.
that.
You are putting all of these, objections for me to somehow, I want to have the conversation, Tomr.
Are any of those
I
necessary?
accepted all of the conditions. You are not seen to be adding more conditions, which are ridiculous, which are stupid, which are not constructive. For
Which
you
one
to
of those?
just
Which one
not
of those can
enter
you?
this conversation,
Which
man.
which
Just-
one of those do you need to have a constructive conversation?
Just cut number 12 and start.
No.
Yes, of course.
That's like one of the most important ones.
Oh,
No,
now it's
you
very
can
important.
prove this point without having to have the rule of form.
No, it's Tasteless needs
I
these
know.
sorts of
Well,
boundaries.
Kermit,
maybe
let me
Tasteless
try and
can
explain.
answer. Maybe Tasteless can understand and an example of how answering a question.
I'll tell you why it's
No,
important to
we
answer the
already
question
did
this
that.
way. Because the questions will be sparse in this debate, and they must be respected. They must be understood. And so you're going to repeat the question so that as you're answering it, we're checking your understanding.
But does that even work for all questions?
Tasteless
why are you
Tasteless is just going to forfeit. He's just going to, the first sentence, he's going to break all the rules on purpose and then say he did it because for Tom's entertainment. Like the last debate that he threw with Radson.
Correct. It keeps you on topic. It's good. Let's try it. The debate is only going to last 3 breaks long, and that might be short. So let's try it.
Tasteless, what is your first name? Then you would say, my first name is...
You see, this is pathetic. This is what I'm talking about.
The questions are going to be short because they have to be stated accurately by the person answering.
No, listen. I conceded to every point, okay? This shows that I'm being constructive and that I actually want to have this conversation. You are saying, no, you want a tool. You want a tool. No, he wants it. Don't give it to him. No, because why? This is ridiculous, man.
Voice imitation?
This is ridiculous. Yes, until we get there, Tomr, I'm going to be using this to fucking.
All right. Well, maybe it's okay if he.
I will continue to do that because none of those are dishonest at all. And the only one that you need to fucking keep up with is just not misrepresenting your point.
Tasteless, do you think that you could do that though? That you'd be able to.
Are you able to?
He's just fucking.
See what I mean? Already conceding.
A regular.
See what I mean? If
or no.
If he was responsive,
this is going to be your last shot.
Yes, I can do that, or no, I can do that. We would have avoided this.
Actually want to engage with me in an honest conversation, Tomr. This is going to be your last shot. If you don't do this now, this thing is over.
Oh,
it is up to you.
I know you don't want to do this.
No. It's up to you. Just say yes and let's go.
Look, I don't see what the problem is, man. Number 12 is fine.
Following those 12 rules.
It's over then. It's over.
Okay, so you tap out?
No. Tomr tapped out.
So you can't have a conversation without repeating the question?
Yeah.
Are you really saying that you can't? All right, I'll do it without number 12 then.
No, I'm sorry. You exhibited your pathetic behavior.
I'll do it without number 12.
You were given an opportunity for you to be.
Yeah, I knew he was going to do this. He's just looking for a way to get out.
No,
I believe there's a term that applies here.
It's formally
I have someone to talk to.
There's a term here, Tasteless. There's a term here that describes your behavior, and that term is bitch made.
Okay, it's a formally striked from the record, boys. Let's start the debate.
Okay.
Start the conversation.
Do you want to talk about aliens, Tasteless, in the garage?
I think he's already decided.
It should be a fresh topic.
Free will?
Fresh aliens in the garage?
I think we ought to just go with the topic we've had.
You guys have never talked about specifically about the
Boy Scouts.
Wait, what? You guys are talking about the Boy Scouts?
Yeah, you didn't hear?
No,
I don't even know what that discussion was about, though.
Actually,
it's about the Boy Scouts taking in girls and changing their name in a way to become more inclusive to it.
It used to be one of the last known He-Man organizations out there, free of Jews too, by the way. They used to call them the Boy Scouts.
Tom, what do you think about this, Tom? He doesn't. Tasteless seems to think that all paradoxes are a failure of a failure of reasoning or understanding something. That there are no true paradoxes.
What?
How does that work? That's
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah,
you know how that works. You know how that works. Primary source. It works when your brain doesn't.
Primary source. He thinks that he can solve the Barber's paradox, Russell's Barber's paradox, for example.
What is Russell's Barber paradox?
Seth can actually explain it very well. He's pretty good at it.
Joe, what is Russell's Barber paradox?
No, Seth he'll do it justice. I think I'll mess it up if I explain it.
All right, Seth.
Speak up.
Okay, so there lives a town in which there lives a barber. Sorry, there is a town in which lives a barber who shaves every person and only every person who does not shave themselves. And the question is, who shaves the barber? And you're presented with a direct antonymical paradox where that question cannot be answered without a contradiction either way.
So if the barber shaves himself, how is that a contradiction?
Then
because he shaves everyone.
Would you shut up and let him answer?
Because he could only shave those who do not shave themselves, and then he would be in the set of people who shave themselves, so he cannot shave himself.
And if he doesn't shave himself,
then he would be in the set of people who he needs to shave, the set of people who do not shave themselves. But then once he shaved himself, he'd be in the other set.
And if
he's the only one that shaves.
And if somebody says "fuck it," the barber just goes with the fucking non-Roman face. What's wrong with that?
Right, it's exactly. Then he'd be somebody who does not shave themselves, and he has to shave everyone who does not shave themselves.
This is a fucking town that's fucked itself. But I can see the paradox. It's a very delicious paradox.
But Gus,
has anybody come forth with any sort of
Tasteless has the answer.
Are you counted as a barber though if you shave someone's face once?
What?
The fuck is
It's irrelevant.
Like if there's a barber who shaves everyone else's faces but they don't shave themselves, but I shave your face once, am I now a barber?
Oh my god.
Let the record show formally that Tasteless was wrecked, and I know that's a number something.
Why do I get this sense that fucking what's his face is gonna get killed if he doesn't shut up like right now?
Well, he doesn't want to violate any of the rules, and he doesn't have anything to avoid violating any of the rules.
So Tasteless thinks that the only way that Tasteless thinks that you can just think your way past this paradox?
Yeah, he thinks that people just haven't thought about it. He's like, oh, that's easy.
Okay, so here comes the next obvious question, right? When you put this question to Tasteless, what does he say is the answer to the paradox?
Last time I talked to him, he said that I'm an idiot and this is a self-validating model, and that's why it's a paradox. I don't know.
Retro ping.
Well, fucking, of course that's the answer. I mean, what are you guys doing, man? Like, Mr. Rich Corinthian Leather himself has spoken. Fuck, put it back to sleep. Like, that's it. Stop.
Tasteless has really gotten destroyed tonight. This was an actually embarrassing discussion to have.
Yeah, the rule outlining was just as entertaining as.
That's a delicious paradox, by the way.
You should only shave half.
It's really good. That's what Russell's about.
Is it obvious to everyone what happened here that he desperately did not want to have this conversation?
You guys didn't have the actual conversation, do you?
Right, I told you. He was just trying to arbitrate it to the point where he can get out of it, and he did.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was a filibuster. It was a giant fucking filibuster.
Oh.
Dude.
Tasteless can't have a discussion without answering a question in a complete what's that format called?
The second grader format.
Yeah, we called it the second grader format.
Yeah.
What's the second grader format?
So if I ask you, what is the capital of California, right? Your answer would come in the form of, the capital of California is, and then you have to answer. You have to start it like that. So that way it prevents you from just going off on some tangent. Like, so you wouldn't be able to say the capital of California is now. For example, let's say that my mom cookie something, right?
Even more important is that
in this report it clearly says,
and so he can't ask something really crazy and long and ask you to be able to restate it. You won't be able to.
Right. Oh, Bruce. Fucker.
So it's like kryptonite for Tasteless.
Right. So it's what we used to do. It's what we used to make Mark Thomas do, right? We used to literally bolt Mark Thomas to the floor and say, you must say the following words in order to be eligible to answer this question.
That's interesting. I brought up Mark Thomas as an example when Tasteless started complaining about how that's not useful in a conversation.
Oh, did you, Seth? Did you?
Yeah, because often instead of saying Mark Thomas would start his sentences with that, but Tasteless oftentimes starts his sentences with exactly, but he actually disagrees with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hey, look,
Yeah, I
his favorite
hate
thing to
that
do-
so
His favorite
much.
thing to do is go, yeah, yes, of course.
I hate when
You'll
somebody
ask
does
him-
that.
You'll ask him a question that it'll completely defeat his argument. You'll be like, so you agree with me, right? No, yes, of course. But He I don't did that agree with with me as well. In a private call we had on a certain issue, he did the exact same thing to me, and I'm scratching my eyes out thinking, but you just conceded my point. But now you're not.
Yeah, but he's a member of the cunt party. He is.
And I got several reports on the conditions of my eyes. So. My eyes are okay according to his reports.
I'm going to no chat Tasteless because he just bitched out, and I'm not going to allow him to just retreat to the chat like a bitch.
Oh, he's talking about steak burritos with Slim Thick.
Make sure you say you're welcome to come back in voice chat.
Yeah, you're welcome to come back in voice chat.
Steak
God.
burritos. Interesting.
Slim Thick, the fucking. Oh my god.
What's up with something?
She's the fucking succubus of the channel, man. It's fucking terrible. Talking to her is like being cast out into one of the planes of hell.
Another rule that should be added is no text chatting while the discussion is going on, because oftentimes Tasteless will be
So dishonest. You're
he'll be
just
writing
Fine,
and then when you come back, he'll say, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Why are you
Still
crying?
dishonest, Tomr.
Yeah, unlike John.
This is a number. What number is this? Why are you crying? So that's emotional state. That's a number 5.
Tasteless, you gonna have a conversation or not?
Drilling your
It's
ass,
gonna be
man.
on.
I'm gonna continue to
Tasteless,
do that.
Drilling your
Because
ass.
it
That's
bitched out
gotta
of
be
an
on the
honest
list.
conversation.
Declaring victory. Isn't that what
declaring victory? Yeah.
Who keeps tinging? Shut up.
Tasteless, are you gonna have a conversation or not?
Seed.
We decided it's gonna be on Russell's barber paradox.
Joe,
Yeah, what up?
Molly, there have been many.
you tingy.
You want me to stop?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. You guys are the first people to tell me.
Yo,
so
Molly's
I said
saying
earlier.
you make her feel tingly.
Oh, okay. That's even better then.
You whiners.
Say it
Tasteless,
slowly.
we decided it's on
That's
the barber
racist.
paradox.
That's
Are you gonna have a
racist.
conversation?
Yeah, it's the Barber paradox. You're getting back on that one, right?
I'm not able to have a discussion on that. I mean, I don't really know much about it.
On the barber paradox, I think it's ironclad. I don't like. Has anybody have any like professional like philosophers?
No, because the
put forward a-
question's set up to necessarily answer a question that negates it. Like it's logically impossible to answer the question because you
Tasteless
said-
is going to say you can't actually replicate this in reality, right? It's just something that's.
says, could you write it out? So
Oh,
I
is
can
that
follow
is that
the
when it tastes?
proposal?
Is that when it tastes little eel wiggles? Is it since you can't replicate the paradox in reality, you don't have to deal with it?
He burns
You
it off.
can.
That way it's not shaved. He just burns it off. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing in the paradox that isn't real, right? Barbers are real, shaving is real, towns are real. There are towns. I mean, the rule is the only thing that can't be. I mean, the rule can be replicated, right? But to follow it, you just have to contradict yourself. I mean, that's the problem.
Well,
So
whoever
I'm
whoever
going to go
brought
for the
this,
written version of it, so I can.
whoever brought this forward as a counter to his notion that you can just think your way past any paradoxes to be given many laurels and kudos.
That was me. So I could ting again?
No, you can't ting again, but you know you can continue bouncing around in your ball.
Tasteless, what do you want to have the discussion about?
From Seth, too. 'cause Seth
Certainly reinforces my love of you.
Tasteless?
Oh,
I'm sorry, what?
Are you going to have this discussion, Tasteless, or what?
Fucking, I'll have.
No, you won't have the discussion. Shut the fuck up for a minute.
I'm busy. I'm busy right now. I'm busy.
Because
I'm busy. I'm busy.
because it says that he
He's,
only shaves. Jesus Christ,
those-
MMA.
No, we're not
What?
doing
Well,
MMA.
that
This
is
all
MMA.
about
God
Jesus
damn it.
Right now.
Tasteless, you weren't real busy when you were chatting it up in the text chat.
Well, yeah, he's thinking
Where
about
is
Slim
Tasteless?
Thick
I
now,
can't
so he's
find the guy.
masturbating.
He's called Build the Wall.
Oh, okay.
Quit masturbating, Tasteless.
Okay, my dude.
Okay, now I bounce. No, I make bounce.
He's probably in the DMs with Slim Thick.
Yeah, she's nursing his wounds.
Hey, she just showed up to DC, so what should I know about her?
Attention whore. She's like Persian or some shit. Fan of Tasteless. Tasteless is in our top 5. Enough said.
Who are we talking about here?
Slim Thick?
Slim Thick.
Slim Thick. Oh, fuck. It's like fucking meat left out in the sun for too long.
Ooh.
When you put inside chat, do you think I'm cute? That should be an indicator.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading it.
It's like fucking listening to that woman talk is like reading Vogon poetry. I'd rather fucking stab myself in the eye with both of my own legs.
I'm gonna take a shower. Let me know if Tasteless comes back.
All right, enjoy your shower, Tommy. Tomr.
So I think if the guy just